Weird. I don't know why it started on the other screen, but it's okay. Hello. Might as well just open it up. How's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome. We normally start with a starting soon screen, but for some reason it just went right into it, so whatever. How's everyone doing today? Welcome back. My name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Today is Mapmaker Monday, where I build a map live for you to watch and to learn and participate and share feedback and ideas. Today's stream will be wrapping up the Wizard Tower Sewer Escape build. I hope y'all are excited to see how it finishes up. Are we live? Yes. Down. Cool. Awesome, Dag. It looks like my chat bot isn't keeping up. Perfect. Spellcrafter Gaming, thank you for the confirmation on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? I was having some technical issues just prior to going live, so I appreciate the confirmation. It just reassured. Thank you, thank you. So we are live on multiple platforms right now. So off the top of the list here, we got Twitch, we got YouTube, we got Facebook and TikTok. We're also live on Steam, if you happen to be watching there. And just so you know, if you have any questions during the stream today, feel free to ask, and I will guide you and provide any assistance or support you need. Think of these streams like an AMA format. So if you're building a map or struggling with exporting a map and need some help, just let me know. Marty Stepp, welcome, welcome. Hey, Ron Amok, how you doing, buddy? About to eat some breakfast, Dag? What are you gonna eat? What kind of breakfast? Hey, TikTok, thank you so much for all the likes. Much appreciated. Fist bump to TikTok over there. I'm just getting likes all day. All day? Welcome to the stream. I love you. Pull this mic in. We're gonna get nice and close. We're gonna get really intimate. Sausage and cold cereal. That is horrifying, Dag. Calypsic, right? Doesn't it look great? It's coming along. So we're gonna put the roof on today, which actually the roof we got last week was a little bit too big. Mrs. Mac made this for me, and she finished up the new roof, and I'm gonna compare it to the old one here in a bit. So the tower is 4 floors for anyone just tuning in. This is meant to be a sort of like wizard's respite in the middle of a forest, deep in a thick forest. It's a kind of a private getaway where he can go to, you know, do his research and relax and study and, you know, just kind of do his thing. He's got a garden and an apiary and little shed, blacksmithing area, you know, all the little things he might need, but then at the same time, his home is all stocked up to the nines too. Let's drop a token inside and we can take a look around if anyone's interested. I'm gonna put this cat wizard. So I designed this base to be a 4-story build with an observatory on the top. We're gonna be putting the roof on today to finish it up. And basically, as you can see here, it is up at the top level is the observatory. Then you go down the stairs here. You've got a bedroom. So this is the wizard's kind of private little bedroom. It's a containment field, actually. No, honestly, it's like a big arc over. It wouldn't get you when you climb up. I'm not too worried about it. But the tower has like an antenna on the top, and it has a weather vane kind of thing with like a cord, kind of like a, you know, Dr. Frankenstein type thing where you can harness the electricity of a storm. So I'm going to be doing that as well. Got a bed. Let's see here. You figured out how to make a regional map? That's awesome, Run Amok. Yeah, a lot of people make regional, like, forced perspective maps, and they're pretty cool in DA. I can't wait until that's something we actually address and offer, like, direct support for instead of, like, workarounds. It's crazy how versatile DA is, though, because, I mean, with simple workarounds, you can make almost anything, but at the same time, the devs have said they want to make an overworld biome at some point. So, that should help. Havoc, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. So here is the kind of like hearth slash kitchen. There's a little hatch here, which I'm going to put some stuff over it. I'm going to finish decorating a little bit here. But I started building this before the most recent update launched, and I was building it with stuff you could either find it stock in Dungeon Alchemist, or stuff that is in the workshop. Artful Darkness, thank you for the love. Much appreciated. Christo, you sent 1K likes. Thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. And a good days to use. But yeah, there's a few different ways to make a regional map in DA, and I'm glad you figured it out. That's awesome. So we're going to work on the upper level today. And the cool thing about this map is I've designed it as a pull apart, where each aspect of the map why is it jumping up on that one? Is it this? Something is setting this off just the slightest bit, and I want to figure out what it is. Great. Click this wall now. You see this, how it's raised up the littlest bit? I just want to fix that before we progress. Yep, it is that. I knew it. Damn rug. Okay. Somehow the collider for the rug ended up under that wall. It's interesting. It's still doing it. That is obnoxious. Wow, the collider for that is insane. That is absolutely bonkers. I cannot believe this. That is it. No. No way! Okay. That rug is done. I'm done with that. Nope, no rug. Okay. See, that fixed it up. Toot sweet right there. Done. Panketeer, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Okay, so Havoc asks, so a friend was trying to send me maps importing to FGU, figured out how to do animated and lighting. Did he send you the XML file? This is not a mod. You can stack objects on top of each other. If you disable collisions, it allows you to merge objects close to each other or overlap them, and also raise them up and down. Many objects in DA stack on top of each other or snap together like Lego. So if you go to the object panel, which is up here, right, and then you go to structural, there's all sorts of structural objects, like these stone ones, these platforms, for instance. These things are great for making like castle or city walls. They stack up, snap together really easy. These round walls also in DA, and I'm just building the floors using assets I found on the Steam Workshop, which if you go to the Steam Workshop tab here and hit Browse Assets, there are 3D models galore, almost 5,000, and there are collections of assets. This one here, the tower building assets, is what I downloaded. It has round floor and different stairs that fit into it perfectly, but it's designed to fit in with these wall pieces. So I've been basically just stacking them on top of each other like Lego or blocks, if you will. You wouldn't get a JSON. You wouldn't get a JSON Atlam for FGU. Wouldn't it be an XML? Okay, so 1 second. I have a video that guides kind of through it to a degree. By the way, you can import custom assets into DA. So if you have any 3D models, or you can make 3D models, then you can import them through this tab here where it says Asset Importer. It supports STL, FBX, and GLTF/GLB files. So 1 second here. I think I have a video on YouTube that kind of references it. One moment. I don't know if it's like a full tutorial or kind of basic guides through it. One moment. One moment. Oh, I know why. I feel like it's a short. I don't know. Yep. 1 second here. Okay. It's been a minute since I've done this. So, I don't use Fantasy Grounds every day, so bear with me 1 second. Okay, so under the Asset tab, you would import your map, right? So did you do it under the Asset tab, right? Oh, so you actually used the walkthrough on our site as well? Okay. Did you go to the Line of Sight tab here? 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. You know what? I don't even know why I'm doing this. I could do it right from DA. Maybe. What's up, Bane? How you been, by the way, buddy? Okay, so right here, the import guidelines. Let's pull this up. So, to clarify, you have copied both Amazing Dungeon, your map, and the XML to the asset folder, correct? In the image subcategory. Okay. Which version of Fantasy Grounds are you using? Yeah, Fantasy Grounds does not use a JSON. It uses the XML format to get its data. Okay. Well, now I'm intrigued. Are you in our Discord, Havoc? Could you send me the map so I could take a look at it? Gotcha. So, okay, so I understand that there is definitely something weird going on here. Have you tried just deleting both of them and re-exporting the map again? Oh, I got an idea. Okay, so the map is playing, it's animated. Is it playing just fine? Is that working? No problem there. It's just simply the line of sight. Dude, Atlam, I feel you, man. I forget stuff all the time. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, gotcha. So I do so as long as it's playing, it's not a huge size map. Yeah, I really want to take a look at it. Did you export it multiple times by chance? Is it possible you mixed up the XMLs? Hey, email, how you doing? By the way, we're going to just focus on this for a bit because I want to solve this issue for our viewer. I like to provide support on these streams, so we're going to stop building for a minute and kind of focus on that. So I'm going to save this map, all right? And then we'll take a moment and try and help him out. Save. If one of you can get me the file, the map, I can take a look at it. That's what I need. I need the map, and I can the damn file. I can export it on my end and import it into FGU and see if it gives me the same problem. That is really odd, though. Oh, appreciate it, email. That means the world to us. Are you enjoying the new update? Okay. Sorry, it's also been a moment since I've done this. Like, I honestly have not actually looked at this in a while. Hey, Christo, thank you for the 2K likes. And Tech Mario, how you doing? Welcome back. Honestly, I do actually prefer Foundry. It's just kind of the thing I use personally. That's not Dungeon Alchemist's opinion. That's my personal opinion. Hey, Eric. Yeah, this is actually just an old map we used to demo animated stuff. See, I can't even remember how to get to the line of sight stuff here. I feel like I'm missing something here. Tables, vehicles, parcels. Images? Yeah, I don't even know what to click here. This is how bad I am at this. Give me 1 second. We're going to figure this out together. Okay. Okay. Then we've already got this campaign folder here. Yeah, there it is. But I don't have any line of sight. That is weird. Did Fantasy Grounds update their stuff recently? By chance, did they recently have an update? Here, I'm just gonna say... Let's see here. I'm gonna find you, my friend. 1 second. I'm gonna DM you really quick. So you might get a DM request. Ah, I see. But how do I access this existing one to get this to pull up? But the line of sight are definitely here. I see it. Yep. Okay. Is the layer visible right here for you? Havoc? Interesting. Havoc, I just DM'd you on Discord. Sorry for, Anyway, we're all over the place, but we're trying to provide some live support here and figure this out to help this person. But it's definitely showing the line of sight here. Yep, that's the one that was already there. I see it now. Interesting. If I can see the map, I can know a lot more about it. Can you send me the DAM file, please? The actual map file, not the image and the... I need the master file, so I can use that to export it live and walk through the process step by step. Something's definitely up here, and I want to help you, my friend. So your friend sent you this? There, that's the map. That's the file I need right there. Save one more time. Open the map. This is the map here. Yep. Okay. We're going to export it. We're going to go to Fantasy Grounds. We're going to go to Web P. Let's do a small border so it's not cutting off the trees on the edge there. Gotcha. Oh, I mean, I know it works in FGU. We've tested with FGU extensively, so something's going on here. I don't know exactly, but it is something weird is all. I'm assuming a step was missed, or you know what I mean? The thing is if they exported it for you, it's possible that something got messed up or whatever. You know what I mean? And yeah, anyway, I'm going to just FGU test. My computer's a tank, Gore. We're already, 15, 20% through it. Remember, guys, I got 128 gigs of RAM, a 4070 Ti. I'm pretty decked out for this purpose. Usually it takes me a minute or two or less. This machine is only running DA at the moment, nothing else. Oh, well, Havoc, I'm hoping this will help. That is so weird. But yeah, we're 1/3 of the way done in like 30 seconds. So, I'm not too stressed. We can just chit-chat. Oh, you guys want to some Mac story time? My morning was quite eventful, if anyone wants to hear about it. So, it's garbage day, which, I'm pulling out my trash, and my trash cans, I keep them in my backyard in my kind of like fenced area. And the easiest way to get them to my front yard is through my garage. So I open my garage, back my car out, open the back door, start pulling the trash cans through, and I'm pulling them through. And as I pull through and I'm walking up to the edge of the driveway, this huge, it looked, at first, out of the corner of my eye, I swear it was a wolf at first. And then I was like, what? And I double checked. And it was a big, huge black lab just barreling at me, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, it scared me. I was just caught off guard. And I just kind of like was like, whoa, 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 slow down, And he comes up to me, and I was kind of scared that he was going to attack me or jump on me or something, I like dogs, but I don't know this dog. I don't know its temperament. I don't know what its deal is. And so I am kind of a little worried. Anyway, he just stops and sits, and I was like, oh, you're a good boy, aren't you? And he just starts wagging his tail. So I give him some pets, and I'm just kind of checking him over. He kind of looks, I don't know, like a little rough. It is hot in Vegas, And so I was worried that he might be abandoned or lost because he has no collar. I have like panning equipment for gold panning. I do that as a hobby. And I have some pans in my garage. I rinsed one out really quick and filled it with water, and he just slurped it up. So he must have been thirsty. And it's already like 100 degrees at 9 a.m. in Vegas. It was 120 yesterday. Record-setting heat yesterday. I'm absolutely worried about this dog, right? And I was terrified that he is going to get, heat stroke or, get whatever, or even die in the heat today. So I'm keeping an eye on him, and the dog is just all over the place trying to get into our dog food's in the garage. He's trying to get into it. So I grabbed a bowl and gave him a little bit of dog food because I was worried he hadn't eaten, So I fed him, I watered him, and I was keeping an eye on him. And then I yell up to my wife, who's in our room, and she's like, what? And I'm like, oh my God, there's this dog here. I need some help. Can you call animal control, please? And then she calls animal control. She brings out a spare leash we had from our older dog that passed away a year or two ago. He was a little bit smaller than this dog, but anyway, so the leash was adequate. And she brings me out the leash, and I leash him up, and I am like trying to figure out what to do with this dog. Oh, no, that wasn't before the leash. One thing happened. So I'm walking around looking, maybe he has owners in the neighborhood just looking for him. And I see someone walking a dog, and I was like, sir, is this your dog? And he's like, no, it's not my dog. And I'm like, okay, well, stay back, because he was walking a dog, and his dog was on the leash. And I was like, because this dog's not on a leash, I don't know its temperament, please stay back. He's like, oh, thank you. And he's like, is it a black lab? And I go, yeah. And he goes, there's a sign for a missing black lab around the corner on the mailbox. So in our like neighborhood is like a big, huge kind of like oval shape. And on the other side of the neighborhood, like a half a mile around, was another mailbox. So he told me about it, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to go get a leash. I went and got a leash, leashed him up, started walking him around. I was hoping to run into his owners, found the mailbox, just is a handwritten note, missing black lab, Jet is the name. Please call so-and-so. I called, and I'm like, Jet, is your name Jet? And he's like, oh, he starts getting happy. So anyway, I call the guy. It ends up being his business number. Thank goodness he answered right away. Had it been a personal number, he probably wouldn't have answered. And I was like, hey, I found this black lab that I'm pretty sure is yours, and I saw the missing dog sign on the mailbox. He's like, well, he's not really missing anymore. Did you find him this morning? I was like, yes. He wandered up onto me when I was doing yard work. And he's like, oh, okay, well, the gate must have been left open. He must have wandered out. So this is a regular occurrence. The sign was from an older time he got lost. Not this time. They didn't even know he was lost. And I was like, man, I already called the pound because he doesn't have a collar on, and I'm looking for the owner. So he's like, can you please? And he described the dog to me in perfect detail. Knew exactly like how he looked, described his like a spot on him that was very specific. So I knew it was his dog. And I was like, okay. And he's like, can you please walk it up to my house? My wife is home. She'll take the dog. And I was like, oh my gosh, fine. So I don't know where this guy lives exactly. I'm walking all over looking for the address. This was all before the stream. Okay, I'm walking all over the place. I find the house. The lady walks out as I walk up, and she's like, oh, thank you. And I was like, okay, can you please take him and make sure he has his collar on? Please, please, please. And then I'm running home. I call my wife. She's like, the pound's here. I was like, ah! So the animal control showed up. And I had to explain to them that I ended up finding the owner and the whole scenario. And I was like, I watered him, fed him. I found the missing dog sign, called it, walked him home, and just barely got back right as you pulled up. And he's like, oh, thank goodness. And I was like, I was just worried the dog would be in the heat. I didn't want him to get hurt, whatever. The animal control guy was really understanding. I was like, I'm really so sorry for wasting your time. Thank you for such an amazingly quick response. Like, it was so fast. They were there in under an hour. So anyway, my morning was rather stressful dealing with this whole thing because I could have been attacked by a dog, and I honestly was worried about this dog. It reminded me a ton of my dog that passed away a couple years ago because it was trying to hug me. It was jumping up trying to hug me and being super sweet, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't adopt a dog. I can't adopt a dog. I can't adopt a dog. And I told my wife, I was like, we cannot adopt this dog. I'm sorry. He's cute, but we can't, Okay, so I've got both of these files, right? Okay, so let's open up FGU, shall we? So the real thing is, Gore, I haven't put them in here yet. So do I drag them directly into here? That's the thing. I just don't know what I'm doing anymore. Oh my gosh. Oh, won't let me drag them there. Okay. Copy. Gotcha. I see it. No worries. I got it. It's been so long since I've uploaded a map to Fantasy Grounds. I apologize. I should be more up on this. I basically only use it like once every 6 months when someone asks me. So that's kind of what I'm running into right now. Okay, let's see here. I have the map. I know where it is. It is here. This is so weird. Oh, okay. I see what I'm supposed to do. Here we go. I got it. There we go. Got it. Okay. I just had to put it in the folder on my computer. And that was the easy thing. It doesn't appear to have any walls in the map. That is weird. Huh. I see it. They're not there. Interesting. Let me take a closer look at the map. So they sent you this file exported like this? I'm almost wondering... Oh, never mind. It is there. Okay. Okay, what the heck? No, I see it. They are there. Totes. Totes there, my friend. That is so strange. Okay, so... A fresh import definitely did work. I just sent you those files again from my export, a clean export, okay? What I would like you to do... Okay, Mac, when you enable player view after dropping a token in the map. Let's, how do I drop a token in here? People teach me. I've never done this in here. Tools, party sheet. Let's see here. NPCs, maybe one of those. First icon in that upper right panel. By the way, I had this made sure it was enabled, right? The line of sight. So I definitely made sure that was enabled. The line for the walls are on there. It does have it. First icon, which upper right panel? This one up here where it says tools? Enable player preview. None of these say that. That's why I'm confused right now. Party sheet, calendar, dice, options, sound, effects, modifiers, combat tracker. Oh, player. Gotcha. Durr. I'm sorry. So third option down. Characters notes, is it one of those? I don't even know how to make a character. Okay. Wizard. I'm just going to grab a Dragonborn. Maybe. Is there like pre-configs that save me some time? Oh my goodness. Okay, so how do I place a token? I've got a character. I feel really dumb that I don't know all this. Yeah, this map was made in Dungeon Alchemist, and now we're just in Fantasy Grounds. Okay, got it in the combat tracker. Tokens. Man, it should just say, like, tokens. And drag the shield. This one? Guys are like... Gosh, when I click that, that opens... Everything I do here is not doing this. Hold on. Give me one moment. Let me collect myself. I'm still on my first coffee of the morning. Okay, character sheet's open. There's a shield in here somewhere. Man, I'm just going to say this. Fantasy Grounds is incredibly... Gotcha. Okay, just did it. How do I hide this other view? This other map? This image on top? That's the problem. This map here. Somewhere on here is an arrow. Upper right corner near the X of that map window. Oh, okay. That's so straightforward. I consider myself pretty like technically savvy, and oh my gosh, that was like pulling teeth. But the line of sight is working. The lighting is working. Do you want to try the new files I just sent you? So delete all the old ones. Try this new one. I'm wondering if it's grabbing the old XML. You think? I mean, I made these steps look really good. You know it. You know what? I'm going to learn how to redo this myself and try and get better at it. But that was kind of insane. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it is indeed doing line of sight. We getting everything. So the map is from Dungeon Alchemist. The software running the map is Fantasy Grounds. A number of different softwares work with Dungeon Alchemist. Okay, I'm gonna close that now that we've taken a look here. So this is the map that we were in. Havoc, you've got my DM, buddy. So we're going to jump back into map making for the stream. And if you need any more help after this, feel free to reach out to me. Okay? Sound good? Because I definitely want to get you squared away and sorted. I think you just... Something was wrong with the export they sent you. It's possible maybe they messed with the file or did something with it. Someone sent it to you? Who sent it to you? Was it Bane? I don't know who sent it to you. I don't know the whole story here. And I'm trying to understand it. But either way, I definitely got this exact map working in my Fantasy Grounds. And so I'm hoping... Bane, what did you do? If you need any help, you can reach out to me in DM and I will gladly help you out, okay? Does that sound good? Oh, gotcha. Okay, so back to the build. So this roof we found out last week is just too massive. The hole in the roof is too big. The roof is hard to see in top down because it clips. The camera is too low to get the top of the weather vane. By the way, everyone that is a Fantasy Grounds expert in our chat that helped out, I appreciate you very much. Thank you for being patient with me because Fantasy Grounds, honestly, it feels like a foreign language sometimes when you are used to something else is all. And so I'm not against it. Honestly, it does have a lot of utility and function. I just think that it is definitely a little bit daunting at first, and I was trying to be quick, and I apologize if that took a little bit longer than anticipated, but it definitely is working. So I'm glad we at least came to that conclusion. By the way, if we run into any issues that are too much, I can even reach out to the staff at Fantasy Grounds. I actually have a decent relationship with their community manager, and like if I ever have issues, I can reach out to them. So, on a whim, if we need their assistance, we can get them involved. So, Paulette is awesome. She is really cool. Honestly, I really enjoy that we are able to network with these other communities and really like I don't know, in a good way. You know, it's not a bad like I don't know, like everybody's like, especially other map makers, they are like, well, they're your competitor. No, I don't see them as competition. I see them as complementary. So like every DM is kind of like an artisan, a producer. You know, you're a cartographer, a producer, a storyteller, a world weaver. You're all these things, an artist all in one, right? Kind of a polymath, if you will. And no artisan can do a job with just a single tool. You know, I say this all the time, a carpenter can't build cabinets with just a hammer, right? They need a saw, they need, you know, a planer, they need chisels, they need all these different things to make a beautiful cabinet. Not just that, a little bit of expertise and skill, right? So I think, you know, having Dungeon Alchemist in tandem with something like Fantasy Grounds, they work really well together if you understand both of the tools. And they are very, very complementary. That's why I like reaching out to these companies. So someone was asking about dynamic dungeons. I would like to talk about that for a moment. Are you still here? There was a question about that, and I am so sorry. Blinken Gaming, you're looking at Dungeon Alchemist. So it was Stephen Marchetti. Are you still here, Stephen? That was from Facebook a few minutes ago, and I apologize. We were in one problem, and I didn't get to answer it. I hope he's still here. If not, I'll reach out to them privately otherwise. So basically, with that in mind, Dynamic Dungeons, I've been working with them as well, and I was trying to get an export option for Dynamic Dungeons added in the last update, but there wasn't time. But if you export as Fantasy Grounds Unity, your map as a WebM VP8, right? That actually is compatible with Dynamic Dungeons. Dynamic Dungeons uses the WebM VP8 codec. So you can just take the map and throw away the XML file because that's only for Fantasy Grounds, and this will work in Dynamic Dungeons. So I hope whoever was asking that is still present. I apologize I didn't address that sooner. I could only deal with one thing at a time. I'm sorry, Alberto Felipe, you say, I build a set of walls with automatic tool. However, these cannot be increased in size afterwards. Honestly, Alberto, the AI draw room tool will only give you one level. That's the first level right now. In the future, we plan to offer multi-level support. You got to remember, Dungeon Alchemist is in an early access state, so it's not complete. Despite how full-featured it is and how many assets there are and how much it can do, it's not complete, which means it's going to be insane when it's done. So our next update will feature multi-level support with AI, the room draw tools, and it'll also offer, you know, stair connections between them and balconies and things like that. but there's no ETA on when that'll launch. We literally just launched an update less than a month ago, so we got to get some time to develop this next one. Now, with that in mind, you can do multi-level, as you can see, but it's by hand. So if you, instead of using this draw room tool, only use the draw room tool for the first level. Pop in. Second level or third level, you use assets. Use the structural assets. Like these freestanding walls can stack on top of existing walls. And there's a freestanding wall counterpart for every regular wall. So you could put these on top of the other walls to make a second floor. There is masonry, different stonework, round walls, etc. Platforms to use as floors. There is wood planking and platforms to use as well. And a lot of these objects snap together and stack like Lego or like blocks. You know, I'm sure most everyone here has played with Lego at least once or played with blocks at least once. You know, where you stack the toys and they stack up really nice. Anyway, okay. I just want to remind everyone, by the way, if you're just checking out Dungeon Alchemist for the first time, right now, for the first time ever, we have a demo. We actually launched a demo when our update launched, and it's really cool because you can try Dungeon Alchemist out before you buy. You get to check out the forest biome, make yourself a lovely little tavern, you know, investigate some of the tools and see what you can do. Totally free demo. If you like Dungeon Alchemist, it's on sale right now for 20% off through the 11th on the Steam Summer Sale. Yes, depends on, yeah, I mean, if it's an object stair, yes, you can manually place them all over the place. There's all sorts of staircases within Dungeon Alchemist. Round stairs, you know, stone stairs, wooden stairs. The ones, I will be honest with you though, downward stairs, they're not my personal favorite because they make a hole in the ground like this, right? And it sinks a space into the ground, right? So you can't really use those as a downward stair in an upward environment, a multi-level environment. You just would want to use upward stairs. Technically, an upward stair is also a downward stair. It's kind of like an escalator when it's out of order, is just stairs. So in this case, just use the upward stairs because they're a little bit more free in how you can place them. I mean, you can raise them up and down. You can resize them. You can rotate them. They're much more versatile, in my opinion. Simply because they don't have that limitation of sinking into the ground. Hey, Cube Virus, welcome back. Okay. Shoot. This is a system agnostic map maker. It works with any fantasy setting. So, I mean, people use it for Pathfinder, people use it for Mouse Ritter, people use it for D&D. You can use it for all sorts of things. You know, Eon, we actually tried to work with D&D Beyond and Wizards of the Coast, and I don't think that's going to work out. It just really didn't pan out, so I don't think so. Matthias, you can do roofs by hand right now. I want to show you. Look at this. There's a roof right here. Oops. Oops, I keep grabbing the rock underneath it. So you can do roofing, but it must be an object. So in DA, there are a couple of roofing things, like this roof and this shingled spire could work. But I wanted a special one with a hole for an observatory. So I actually had this one custom made by the lovely Mrs. Mac, my wife. So my wife, anyway, she has been kind of dabbling into 3D design and made this for me. Now, she made it, and we tried it last week. We felt it was too big for the building, so she made a new version of it. We're going to try that out today. Hey, Moffus. Nice. How are you doing, by the way? Man, we've had 2.8 thousand likes on TikTok today in the stream. That's insane. Harry, unfortunately, we don't provide any support for that, and we can't allow you to talk about that kind of stuff on the stream. So please don't talk about damn editing, okay? When you mess with the DAM files, you are at risk of causing problems within DA and your maps, especially for future updates. Essentially, by manipulating the DAM file, your map may not work, in a few months with a new update. So we don't provide support for it, and we don't encourage it. Okay, now let's import an asset here so we can show you how to import a custom 3D model. Took me forever to get to this because we were dealing with some support stuff, but honestly, I would rather help our community and get answers to you. So that worked out. That looks so good. So what I'm doing right now is setting a name. I'm setting search words. Technically, I don't need to do roof because the name is search terms, and then these are all search terms. So what I'm going to do is we'll try Spire. We'll add weather vane. Wait, is that how it's spelled? No, is it like this, weather vane? I don't even know. I've never thought about it. Anyway. Slate. Tile. Let's try a few different things, right? Now, I don't want this object to randomly rotate, and I don't want it to be a random size. The rotate point, I want it to be in the center, which it is. What that means is it'll rotate around that center point, right? Instead of around an outside edge, or it being in the center means it'll rotate as a circle, spin kind of like a gazebo or whatever, or a merry-go-round. Blinkin' Gaming, the size of a map you can make is directly proportionate to your computer power. So the more powerful of a machine you have, the larger of a map you can make. So I've seen maps up to like, someone did a virtual computer setup through their work, and they were making 1,000 by 1,000 maps. Okay, I've seen community members make 250 by 150 overworld Legend of Zelda maps, like an entire Legend of Zelda map. Okay, it's possible to do it, but it requires patience and a machine that can handle it. You can build big maps with less powerful machines, but you need to be focalized on a small point at any given time. DA doesn't use flashlight rendering like video games do, where it only renders really what you're looking at. It renders the whole thing, so technically it only renders what's on screen. So as you zoom out, you're rendering the entirety of your map, all the assets, everything on it. In a video game, that would crash it right away, right? When you're zoomed in, you're at a tighter focal point of what is being rendered at any given point. DA is a real-time 3D render engine that you build your maps in and have the immersion of 3D to get all the details and minutia just right for the export. Yes, some VTTs, they have size limits. So they have resolution limits, they have file limits, and they have size limits. Like, so, I mean, a few things to keep in mind. The export DPI you use can drastically increase your file size. Also, if the file is massive or animated, your players may not be able to load it. You want the experience to be, equal across the board for all your players so they all have fun. If one player consistently can't load a map, how fun is that for them, right? They may have, maybe not that great a computer or potato internet or something, or throttled, or maybe a limited data plan. So if you keep the map small by doing a 72 DPI export, maybe keeping maps smaller, I'd recommend, honestly, keeping them to 60 by 60 or less. But yeah, I mean, if you want to approach like 100 by 100 or higher, you can definitely do it. That being said, at some point in the future, we plan to address like overworld type stuff and more stuff for cities, but there are Minas Tirith size cities on our Steam Workshop already available that are massive in size. Sailor Yugoth, one of the creators in our community, makes these super mega cities that he uses forced perspective. So it's big, but all the assets are scaled down so it looks like that. But one of them literally looks like 3-walled city like Minas Tirith. So it is possible. Can you drop 4.1, Seisu, please? So Article 4.1 of our terms and conditions outlines all the information you need to cover there, Blinken. But the short and condensed version is that Dungeon Alchemist is fine with you selling your maps and using them in your campaigns and modules and whatever. That is totally fine, but just keep in mind, you shouldn't be selling maps if they're recreations of existing modules. Don't sell maps from the workshop that aren't yours, right? And you shouldn't be commercializing maps with assets from the workshop that you don't have the rights to. So if you're downloading assets from the workshop, make sure you have the rights to distribute them in your maps. So that's kind of an outlier case, but if you're making and selling maps all stock within DA, and you can do that to your heart's content. Once you reach 100,000 in annual revenue from sales tied to your map making. So let's say you sold a campaign module that just blew up on a Kickstarter and you made like $500,000 on this book, right? First off, props. Secondly, I am going to congratulate you and probably get you a bottle of champagne. But you would have to get a business license for your Dungeon Alchemist, copy. That way it is appropriately aligned to the scale that you build with. Does that make sense? I just think something was wrong with the first file because it wasn't working. Well, no, it did work, actually. The initial one worked for me, too, so I don't know. Not yet. Not yet, but honestly, I'm sure we'll get there with time, There's not many map makers in general that have done that. It is, right, Mateus? Honestly, Havoc, that's just a lesson in how inconsistent that technology is, Right? Like, that's just a lesson in technology. I'm really sorry, my friend. So I'm going to add this into a few different places. Round constructions. That way, people can find it, right? If you download it from the workshop. So I've added it to categories. When you select a category, it'll be in that object category in Dungeon Alchemist. So that's how you can find it, or you can search the name of it. So in this case, Observatory Roof. Right? Now, I need to set a collider for this. And right now, we're looking at a box collider, which is probably what I'm going to do, if I'm being honest with you. Collider rotate ever so slightly. . I'm glad we got you working, Havoc. And that one I sent you is 150 DPI, so it'll look a little bit better than the first one. So, but by the way, be careful with higher DPI. You want to keep that load time good. And most VTTs recommend lower than 100 DPI for images and video. So like 72 DPI keeps the file sizes small, keeps the load time short. So in this case, though, that map was really small. Perfectly fine for 150 DPI. Yep, I'm going to share this model on the workshop so everyone can use it. But I think I'm going to use a cylinder collider instead of the box. Yeah, I'm already liking this a lot more. So a cylinder collider matches the shape of the roof much better, right? It matches the height better. It won't match this shape, like here, that cone shape, but it'll at least be a good reference point for DA to know how big this object is, right? So you want to get the collider as close to the base foundational shape and height of the object as possible. Honestly, the average user in Dungeon Alchemist makes maps that are like 30 by 30 or less. Most people make simple encounter maps or, you know, just a small little area of you know, like a forest encounter or a small city. But yeah, there's plenty of people who make 60 by 60 maps. Cali Psych. Honestly, like, it really depends on personal preference and your computer specs. So, like, I love building maps around 60 by 60. That's my personal like pocket zone. I think it's the Goldilocks zone. The maps are perfect in size for several encounters. It usually is about, beyond that, your players have problems loading, things like that, right? So now I've saved the asset, right? I'm going to set it to public. Now, I'm just going to leave it like that. An observatory roof with an opening for a telescope or doomsday device. Now I'm going to publish this, which will share it to everyone. Right now, it's only local. When it's published, anyone can see it as long as it's set to public. And by the way, I'm just going to let you all know, any assets I share on the workshop, if you find them under my name saying MacX3D, that's my personal username, you can use them in your maps for commercial purposes. So if you find an asset shared by Mac, feel free to use it in your maps. I'm not going to throw a fit about it. I share them on the workshop with that expressed intention. I probably should start saying that. It's basically sandbox. You can kind of just build and build and build. I'm going to show you an example in a moment. By the way, welcome, Gadout. Yeah, Farrellin. The lower the DPI, first off, okay, so that's dots per inch, right? So 72 by 72, 150 by 150, 300 by 300. If you increase that, that increases the file size. So from 72 to 150 is over double. From 72 to 300 is over 4 times the file size. So not only are you increasing the file size, but you're also increasing the resolution, which many virtual tabletops have resolution limits, okay? File size limits. And then you factor in your players who they may have a, not that great of a computer or slower internet, and then they may not be able to load it. So 72 DPI is what we recommend. It's what most virtual tabletops recommend. Foundry, Roll20, they recommend 72 DPI for your maps, whether it's an image or a video. Oh, is it dimensional? Okay. I was talking about file size. So the file size is technically about 4 times as large. Usually that's how it pans out when I do it, but I could be wrong. Okay, I'm going to publish this. Basically, the maps you can make are directly proportionate to the power of your computer. So if you have like an amazing gaming rig or streaming rig or like a something for work, you could probably make a really powerful, like if you have a powerful machine, you can make a really big map, beautiful map, tons of assets, tons of animation. It's a direct correlation, basically. Okay, so this is the old roof, right? Old roof. This is the new one. We got to make it bigger. Okay, so look at the difference between them. There are hundreds of third-party 3D modeling programs, free, not free. It's probably in your best interest to use one of those because they're far better at it than for creating custom 3D models. Now, when you bring them into DA, you can, merge them all together and stuff like that using DA itself. But yeah, you would have to create the model outside of Dungeon Alchemist. That is like the absolute height limit there. I think what I'm going to do is put like a platform or something under this. Like a little balcony or something. Well, awesome, Godout. By the way, we have a demo, so if you want to try it out before you buy, feel free. But yeah, I'm not going to stop you from buying if you want to buy. By the way, welcome to the community, and if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out. Just gonna put like some basic support beams under this. We're almost there. Darn it. No, there's like the Gothic supports, right? And they have the buttresses. Those are a little bit better for this. Because they come out at like an angle, right? No, that won't work. Oh, right, Caillou? It's insane. Lambit definitely well deserved of the map. In the object brush, Harry, if you just change the brush size, that does it. Or if you go to the advanced tab, scaling. Scaling randomness, scaling average. So if you reduce the scaling average, that'll reduce the size quite a bit. I need suggestions for this. Should I just put a beam down all the way? I kind of was thinking something at an angle. Man, I wish we had these in like a different color. That could work. Yeah, that's the thing, is I was hoping to do it like this or something into the wall. Do we even have one that does that? That's the problem. Probably just gonna have to use something stone like this. I feel like there was a wooden one. That one could work. Nope. Matthias, unfortunately not at this time. In a future update, we plan to offer the option to like copy groupings of objects between one location to another or between maps, etc. But that's still a way out. I'll just set one of these down. Use that. Use that. I'm going to try a few of them, just see which one looks the best. But I think I'm going to change this from this to something else, like a stone platform. See if one will work. Match. Nope, I don't like it. I like the wood one better. I don't know what to do with this. This is frustrating me. Let me look at a few different things. Maybe I could use something like this. Put it under there like that at the 45 degrees so it looks like it's mounted onto the wall. That's probably the best bet. Oops. What happened? Is this up like this? Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's reasonable. Not the end of the world. Oh, nice, Blinken. What are you printing? Are you doing a resin print? I use lychee on my my resin printer. Sorry, I just heard something behind me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that looks really good. That looks really good. Let's put a little balcony here. What do y'all think? Does that look good? And if you don't like it, you don't have to agree. I understand if you're not a fan. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I thought it would turn with it because it was on the collider. Yep, that's the reason I was doing it out of way. There's too many colliders here. I think it looks really clean. So, really quickly, people are wondering how to place a third or whatever level, right? If you go into the object panel and you disable collisions, first off, this allows you to merge objects together. Notice how I can put this rock into this rock and make like a new rock. Normally, when you have collisions on, that's a no-no. You see the red? It's like, nope, you can't do that. Collisions off, totally can do it. When you disable collisions, a few secondary behaviors also trigger. You can scale objects up and down almost infinitely. As long as they don't have a lock on their scaling right here, you can scale them pretty much infinitely. So that allows you to make objects larger, make them smaller. That's really fun if you're, doing giants or tiny, like Lilliputian style campaigns. Now, another behavior is this little arrow right here. Notice the height meter there? You can actually grab this arrow, raise and lower the structure. Now, what I have done is taken advantage of this, and I've built every single floor using that as the premise. Okay, first things first. I'm going to put a token in here, and we're going to walk around. See what it looks like from the inside now that we've done all this. No! I can't! Looks like there is already a token in there. No, I can't click it. How can I explore? Oh, you know what? I'll just use the cinematic camera. Nope. Nope. Oh my gosh, the collider. Okay, I know where I made a mistake. I gotta change something. Because I can't click in there to look around. And that's problematic. I was able to do it on the previous one, and I don't know what I did differently. Give me a moment. I'm gonna save this. Okay? And then we're gonna go to my asset importer. We're gonna take a look at that collider really quickly. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to make it a ring instead. And we're going to get rid of this one. So it'll have a space to grab, but there's a hole in the top. That will allow me to get an access point to put things in and grab through it. Okay? Hopefully. So I'm going to update it. That's all I changed was the collider. Done. Now, unfortunately, this one will not be the roof that we have to put on. We have to put on a new one. The reason being is the prior one has its exact same collider still. So it needs to be done again. Disable collisions. Raise the roof. Scale the roof. Move the roof. Center the roof. And try our best to kind of align this. No, it's still cut off. Ow. Okay. Oh my gosh. This collider is driving me insane. How do I get inside of it? I don't know how I did it before. I had this figured out last week, and now I'm feeling silly. There we go. Got it. Oh no! It just jumped me through the side. I cannot win. There we go. Did it. We won. I got it. The bottom, sadly, okay, so there's no way to really put a door on these round walls, so I just did one for immersion. We got a switch. We got the desk. Look at that. That actually looks really cool, and you could see the cord going down from the observatory there. Okay, we're going to go down a level. This cat's too big. So, because I did it from the top, I was able to kind of game the system. There we go. Here is the bedroom. The bed just... Oh, I cannot win with this. I think the observatory deleted the bed. We're going to have to pull it apart and fix it. It's okay. I needed to make some adjustments on the lower levels anyway. Here is the like lab and library area. Study, if you will. And then the hearth and kitchen. So I did like an immersion door that looks like a door, but it's not. You know what I mean? So from the outside, it looks like there's a door, but it really is not something you can open and close. You would just, on your VTT, put that as a door that your players could probably get through. Anyway, I need to put something on the bottom here to cover this up, and I need to fix the bed, so we're going to do that next. It is reassuring, though, that I can get access to the stuff in here from top down because there's a hole in the cylinder. Instead of it being... It's a ring now like this instead of a solid cylinder. Does that make sense? So I just had to figure out the access angle. Thinking like a small ladder here. There's like an access point, right? I like that. Thinking I might even put a small telescope out on this one. That's like spotting scope. That's so cool. I love that. Means I can move this desk a little. How'd I get the walls so high, Ava? So I put them up by hand. Each of these was raised up by hand. So Dungeon Alchemist, if you're doing the AI rooms, these ones can only do one floor. Now you can raise then lower that floor up, so it'll raise the room up, but you can't do multi-floor with the AI rooms yet. Our next update will address that. But for now, if you go into the object panel, right, and if you disable collisions, when collisions are disabled, objects get this little arrow on their side here, and you can raise and lower them with ease. There are hundreds of thousands of structural objects. So that's what I did, is I found a floor. This is the first floor of my building, one of these. These walls are the walls. And each level is delicately stacked upon the one before it. Let me show you. Pull out floor 2, right? Or floor 4. We've got floor 3. While we're here, let's hurry and fix that bed. Okay, so we fixed the bed. I'm gonna pull this floor out. So we've got this floor, right? Pull that floor out. And the cool thing is I designed this so every floor could be pulled off, deleted if I wanted to, right? So if I just delete this, everything on that floor is gone. That's one neat thing about Dungeon Alchemist, is if everything's stacked on top of something like a rug or a floor piece, they can move together, be deleted together, and be scaled together. Watch this. Everything on there scales. Right? So I pull them all apart and see the different floors, make adjustments. And if I delete the upper floors, I can export them one at a time. Save as floor 1, save as floor 2, save as floor 3, save as floor 4, save as with a roof, right? And each of those can be a separate scene in your virtual tabletop. And say Foundry, for instance, has level support. So you could essentially tie the staircases to the new scene, so when your players go to a stair, loads the next scene. Does that make sense? Okay, let's put this all back together now that I've fixed, kind of covered up. There's this secret hatch. Secret is designed to be, this wizard's paranoid. It's an escape hatch if he ever gets attacked or found here. Little tunnel. So you can kind of secret tunnel out the back if you need to. The point of this, though, was to show everyone that it is possible to do this. It just takes a little bit of work. Speaking of moving floors, does the space between need to be automatically manually filled with freestanding walls? So these round walls are technically freestanding walls, and they act. What I did, I'll be frank with you. This entire build was designed around snapping points. So I started and I snapped it to one point, and I made that as a reference. So in my mind, if I ever get lost, I can just snap the other floor to that floor. So they're all the same size, and I just snap them on, and I made sure that they align with the right stairs and everything in between. The right flooring that fits in between. The flooring, these nice wood floors and the spiral stairs and the curved stairs, I got those on the asset browser. If you go to Browse Collections, you can look here, and it says Tower Building Assets. Download this collection. Tons of options. There's balconies. There's all sorts of stuff. I ended up not using these walls because I'd already been building with my walls, so I didn't want any windows, except for the observatory port. So essentially I use these little, like, the donut torus floor, the hatched floor, the spiral stairs floor. I use these in my build. They worked great. So between stock assets and tools and a few workshop assets, we've got ourselves a beautiful multi-level tower. Oh, you like the bath? Right? That looks cool, doesn't it? Here, let's Goodness. Taking forever to get into first person there. Ava Lore. Yeah, cool. Hey, good luck. If you need any help or have any questions, let us know, okay? Oh, please don't crash. If you ever get this saying, wait for respond, always wait, or click wait. Always. Isn't this like a fun little bathtub here? Rubber ducky, you're the one. There's a steak, some books. Books! Is there food there on the bed? I'm gonna have to delete that. I got my puppy here, Seymour, hanging out. Got my magical gear. Some treasure over here. Go down another level. I do need to fill these in with math formulas and wizard, like alchemy formulas or potential like spell formulas. So I'm gonna need and star charts for the upstairs. So that's something that this is still needed. But other than that, this map is done. Let's see here. Yeah, that looks a lot better all covered like that, right? You can kind of see it, but you can't. I like it. So for the most part, this map is done. Got the study. Arthur, while I appreciate your suggestion, I would recommend you add it to our upvote. Our upvote is the place for all suggestions and our roadmap as well, so you can follow along with our development. I do take suggestions during the stream, but during our office hours stream, typically. It's not that I don't appreciate your feedback. I very much do. I just want to make sure that it's documented properly and doesn't get, like, lost. Does that make sense? So, Seisu, are you still around, buddy? Could you drop a upvote link in our... Sorry, in our YouTube for Arthur? Okay, let's get rid of that platter. That link, if you follow it, Arthur, that'll set you up. You can create a suggestion, and then the devs, myself, community members keep an eye on it. They can upvote it, they can comment on it, etc. And the more upvotes something gets, the more likely it is to be noticed or implemented. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. If it's not already a suggestion, then yeah, add it. If it is, then no worries. Loving that. Oh, this is looking really good. I'm really bummed, though, the top down won't get the weather vane. It just needs to be, like, the littlest bit shorter. By shrinking it. Hello, can you go? Oh! At least one of them's there. Not the whole weather vane. We're getting there. We're starting to cook. I'm gonna just lower it a little bit more. Yeah, we're getting diminishing returns there. That's as low as I can make it. Okay, I think it's pretty good. We're gonna save this again because we want to make sure that it is in a, you know, reasonable state. Everything looks good. I'm gonna kind of scope it out around the outside. I think that looks so cool. Let's change it to night. Put a token in the inside there and take a look. Put in the cat wizard. Shrink them down a little bit. Oh, it's clipping right there a little bit. We'll fix that. No biggie. Ah! I fell. We just got to pull that this way a little bit. But overall, that looks really good in here. Little bit of clipping. We can fix that. Doesn't that look so cool from inside? Where there's like, you can see the moon off to the side. The stars. Oh my gosh. Hey, puppy. I like how the dresser fit perfectly in between that. That's a little off, but I'll survive. Huh. I've never noticed that, Gore. That is weird. Well, I think this map has been an amazing journey. It's super cool. Oop, found a spot. Gotta move that basket. But overall, I think this is, like, pretty stunning. Yeah, definitely report that through the report function. Okay. I think this has been an amazing success of a map. Let's hurry and fix this little tiny issue here. Perfect. Yes! Clipping is taken care of. And the cord goes into the wall. Oh my gosh, that looks so perfect. I kind of want to move the switch right underneath it. Goodness, that looks so good. I mean, there's dozens of YouTube channels and social posts, but you might want to check out the Steam Workshop, as you can browse it directly through Steam and not through Dungeon Alchemist itself. And you could see there's like almost 9,000 maps to browse through, so you could see all of these are community works. And you can do this right through Steam. So if you open up Steam, let's see here. Go to the store, search Dungeon Alchemist. By the way, we are on sale right now, and we have a free demo. So either way, you can try it out before you buy it. And, or, you know, see how it runs on your machine. So the demo, free, you got that option. Or the 20% off, great deal. Now, if you go into DA, right, you're looking at it, you can, where is it? Oh, Community Hub. You click here at the top, right? And then you go to Workshop. This will show maps or assets shared by our community. So you can share 3D models or you can share maps. 3D models expand your collection, allow you to build maps outside of, say, the fantasy aesthetic. Dungeon Alchemist excels at fantasy, steampunk, and kind of early Western. Those are the three aesthetics it really is great at. But we plan to offer things like sci-fi and cyberpunk once we leave early access and have delivered on all our Kickstarter promises, which our Kickstarters, we had a bunch of stretch goals that were all themed around the fantasy aesthetic. We primarily planned to do fantasy, but there's been so many requests from our community to do other things like sci-fi, cyberpunk, etc., that we plan to offer optional paid expansions once we leave early access. So imagine, if you will, a simple one-time fee for an expansion that comes, say, Cyberpunk, comes with several thousand assets, a few dozen room types, a bunch of environmental biomes, and it works all within the tool system of DA. Don't have to get it if you don't want that theme, but let's say you wanted something else that fit your aesthetic better, you could do that. But these maps here, if you own a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, these are free to download, and you can utilize them right away. Pretty much ready to go. Here, let me get you a link for that, actually. Was that in Twitch, right? Oh my gosh, why did it break up the tag? Okay, never mind. Here, let's try this link. This one will be better. Go there, check it out. You can do it through the Steam browser or in Steam, or on the web. Either way, you can do it several ways. I really love looking at the workshop because it shows what is possible. Like someone, took the time and figured out how to make this work. Here's a 3-level yawning portal, like a multi-tier yawning portal. These things are awesome. Okay. What was I going to do with this before I got sidetracked? The lever! Pull the lever! Okay. I feel like it was like right here-ish, right? The other lever! Yeah, it's right above it. You can see it. Yeah, I know it's on an invisible. Yeah, basically I snapped it to an abstract wall because the lever has to snap to something and it wouldn't snap to the round walls. So I put it on the invisible or a green wall, which is one of these right here. This is a pro tip here. One of these bad boys, right? And the lever is attached to this, right? If you have collisions on, it'll snap on. These green screen objects, you can insert custom templates or like anything into it, an image to make it a custom wall. Now, alternatively, in this case, if you're clever, you can insert a blank PNG. So I made an invisible floating lever. That's how I put it up there. Because for some reason it wouldn't snap onto the wall I wanted it to. What are you trying to do, Asgard? Because sometimes there is a way to say change the properties of multiple objects at the same time, but there's not a way to select multiple objects at the same time. Now, there is a sort of disclaimer with that. If all objects are stacked onto another object, so for instance, right here, everything on this floor is on this wooden platform, so I can move them all together. So everything, if it's on top of another object, if it's stacked on something, they're for all intents and purposes treated as a single object. They can be scaled together. Notice all of them are scaling simultaneously. You can raise and lower them at the same time, but they must be on top of a single object for that to work. So let's say in this case, I wanted to change all the lights, like all the lights in the vicinity. I want them to, instead of being orange, right? I want them to be out. Or maybe I want their color to be blue because this wizard enchanted them. So I change it to blue, adjust the brightness, right? Let's say I like it that bright. Now I type Control C or Command C if you're on Mac, and then Command V, and I can drag across the map, and all of the lamps have now changed to that blue color. That is kind of a way you can copy the properties of an object to another one. This way you can quickly open and close all doors, turn on and off all lights, change their color, disable and enable animations, etc. Unfortunately, we don't have an option to copy and paste groupings of objects until our next update. Our next update has been announced. It's titled Fun with Objects, and it essentially is a major feature update that will allow you to do more with objects. Save them together as groups, what we call variants internally. Move groups of objects, copy and paste groups between maps. Additionally, we're hoping to address the ability to mirror and rotate objects on any axes. We're not 100% certain this will be addressed in this update, but we want to. So we're trying to expand object functionality and what you can do with them in the next update. So hopefully that gets you all set up and answers your questions and concerns. Asgard. Hey, Cosmic Purge, how you doing? Welcome. Oh, I did it great without any clipping. Okay, let's go take one more tour. And then we'll wrap up the stream. By the way, this roof asset is now on the workshop, so if you want to try and use it, you can. This tower ceiling is made custom. The lovely Mrs. Mac made this spire tower for me so we could make a functional observatory roof. I really wanted to have an observatory like this. Yeah, it's an updated version of the one from last week. She shortened it. She took like 2 or 3 levels of tile off of it and made the hole smaller. Ah, the switch is so close. It's close enough. You get the idea that it triggers it, right? Should I move it over just a little bit more? It just needs to be moved to the right of this square. But then if I move the roof back wrong, it'll be problematic again. Ah! It's okay. It's good enough. Go to the second floor here. We have the bedroom and bath. Little bathtub set up. Here we have the study. Study kind of workshop area. Here is the hearth, kitchen. And there's a secret hatch under those little bags there so we can escape to the secret tunnel that is underneath all of this as a sort of a last-ditch escape if anyone comes after. Ah! No, I am too much of a perfectionist. It's funny, I always tell y'all, your players won't notice that stuff. You don't need to do that. But I still spend hours doing, like, perfection details like this. So, you know, if anything, I am a bit of a hypocrite. I don't know. That's just personal preference. You know, it all comes down to that at the end of the day. Oh my gosh, it's right above it. Yes! Yes! But now it's too high. Go! Yep, I'm that way. I do that, Asgard. I like to kind of manually adjust everything, and some of these are like universal ones that are all pre-stacked, but I like to put stuff on top and around the room so they don't all look the same. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think the map is nearing completion. Mage hand, yo. What respectable wizard doesn't have access to mage hand? Hey, exactly, right? Your players probably won't notice these things at the end of the day. That is my point. You put all this time and effort, but you know what? You love your players, so that's why you do it, right? Yeah, I think that looks great. The switch is right below the plug. You can see it feeding into the wall adjacent to it. It looks really clean. No clipping inside. It's a little hard to tell, but I think we got it. I'm really happy with this iteration. Okay, I hope y'all enjoyed this build as much as I have. It is honestly fantastic. Yes! Oh, it looks so good. I could move it over so it's like centered right over the under the wire, but I kind of just look like it's in the same area. You get an idea that a wire goes here. Here's a switch. You know what I mean? We got the book. We got all this different tools and stuff inside, all of his various artifacts from different, celestial bodies and whatnot. Eliza's trying to break out of the containment field, as you can see. I am very happy with this map. I think it turned out good. I kind of want to put some books on the floor, just kind of opened up and strewn about. Do you think that would kind of add to the messiness of this level? But overall, I think we've really knocked it out of the park. This map is just a mood. And the fact that it's fully navigable in first person, can be exported a layer at a time, is just icing on the cake. I really hope y'all enjoy this map. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, right, Asgard. It's easy to before you know it, start creeping your maps outward and larger and larger. Just remember, at the end of the day, you want your maps to be playable by your players. If you're playing on a VTT, VTTs have resolution limits, file size limits, and they recommend using specific DPIs to keep your files trim so your players can load them smooth, like faster, or more likely to load them effectively. Absolutely gorgeous multi-tier home. The only thing it needs is some blackboard stuff, which I'm going to get the art for later and add to it before I upload it to the workshop. So I just need to add like maybe 3 or 4 graphics to it, and this thing will be dunzo balunzo. So if you are wanting to check out this map later, just keep an eye on the workshop for it. I will be sharing it when I do, and I'll probably post it in the community creation section of our Discord as well, so everyone can see it. So it'll be on the workshop as well as in the community creation section. See, I try to standard everything for 1080p for the most part when I'm making stuff. Because when I export video and share it with our community, almost everything is at 1080 60 FPS. 4K is great, don't get me wrong, but it's not the standard yet for like streaming, and like YouTube supports it, but most viewers, like people want to watch a video if it's in 4K, they may not be able to load it if they have like, you know, not that great of internet, if they're out in a rural area or maybe a country with not that great of internet standards. You know, things like that you got to keep in mind. So that's why I stream at 1080 60, and then people can lower their quality to 720 if they need to. Oh no, Asgards. Rule of thumb, my friend, 60 by 60 or less, you usually can't go wrong with your players. Most players can usually load those maps with ease. Okay, very, very happy with this. I'm going to put the cat wizard out in the garden. We're going to save this, and then we're going to wrap up the stream, all right? Because we are now 20 past the hour. We're supposed to wrap up at 11. Thank you, everyone that hung out today, participated in today's Mapmaker Monday. I really enjoy these streams because it's so fun to explore, you know, advanced map-making concepts with you in the community, show you how to do things, but also, you know, provide support and guidance during the stream if you need it. Are you happy with how the map turned out, Mondu? You've been following it a while. Gore, Atlam, a few people, Seisu, have kind of watched this from start to finish for the most part. Is there a way to split maps? Hey, Leonardo D20, how you doing? So yes. So what you want to do, make sure your map is saved, right? And then save it again somewhere else as a backup in a totally different location, just in case, right? Once you've done that, if you go down to the corner of your map, if you see these little chevrons here, these tell you the size of your map. They can also allow you to shape the map up or cut it down. So what you would do at this point, this one is kind of hard to do because it's centered with an item in the center. Let's say I wanted to cut off this rock formation. I just bring it down to there. It will reduce the map down. And in this case, I could say go down 20 perfectly. So it's a 20 reduction. So it would be half the size. Or I could do it into quadrants. But you could split it in halves or start breaking it into quadrants. And it does take a while to reduce the map. I'm going to warn you. Then you just go to File, Save As. It is a bit like Saruman, but this wizard is wholesome. This is this wizard's private respite in the middle of nowhere where he can kind of just tend to his business, work on his spells and training and, you know, potions and all his little private endeavors, you know? That's smart, Mondu. But it definitely does have Saruman vibes. However, the Orthanc doesn't have a roof like this. It's just like a spire with a flat, you know, roof with a top, almost like a helipad, if you will. All right, everyone. Thank you for participating in today's Mapmaker Monday. We will be back Wednesday with a very special office hours stream. Now, I wanted to let you know, office hours on Wednesday, they're streamed exclusively to our Discord, meaning they're not a multi-stream on all these other platforms. They're only in our Discord. Our Discord is an amazing place to be because you can get support, You can ask questions. You can share maps or download maps that have been shared by other community members. We offer GM chat, so you can talk to other game masters and get ideas, bounce ideas for your campaign, stat blocks, encounters, etc. Very cool place to be. But every Wednesday, we offer an exclusive stream just for our Discord members called Office Hours. And it is a place to hang out, get to know other community members and game masters, cartographers, etc., share tips and tricks, get live support, but also I take notes on Wednesday, so I get your suggestions and feedback and share it with the devs. Thank you for sharing those links, please. So with that in mind, we actually have a very special guest this Wednesday. One of our developers, Quentin Van Ravels, will be present on this upcoming Office Hours stream as a guest. Quentin will be hanging out with us, we'll be answering questions, and we'll be essentially kind of discussing their involvement with Dungeon Alchemist, the various aspects of Dungeon Alchemist that they've made and worked on. And you can kind of pick their brain. So if you want to know, you know, like if you're interested in the ins and outs of DA, this is a good time to show up because they can answer questions much better than I can. Quentin actually made the map tracing feature and like the labels and stuff. Quentin has done a lot of different aspects of Dungeon Alchemist that you may use every single day. So if you're interested in learning more about, taking a deep dive into Dungeon Alchemist, asking questions and and getting your concerns addressed and giving feedback to myself and a developer on the team, show up Wednesday and hang out with us. That's at 10 a.m. Pacific. That is 1 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. CET. Okay? Man, I'm looking at that in top-down. I'm a little bummed the whole spire of the weather vane isn't there, but you at least see the dome, like one dome. And I love how that pokes out right there. Doesn't that look so clean with the deck? Because you could see the front access point, you could see the deck. Part of me wants to move the firewood over to this side. So I had like a little fire shed, right? Firewood shed. Ah, love it. Love it. The top down is just so immersive on this map. You could see the hatch. You could see just the beautiful roof and observatory in the top down, the whole garden, just the entire area is a mood for sure. I hope you enjoyed this build. I'm going to wrap it up, save it. I'm going to put some art in it and then, whoop, ow, holy cow, getting a Charlie horse in my calf. Hold on. That was random. But we're going to wrap up the stream, and we will be seeing you on Wednesday with that special guest. So if you enjoyed the stream, make sure you tune in on Wednesday. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. We'll see you next time I give a damn. Oh my gosh, that is really killing my legs. So I'm going to stretch. I don't know what is going on. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll see you later. Bye.